for years and years, I like shaved corners and tried to be something that I thought other people wanted or that I thought other people would accept. And then I felt like, why didn't I have real relationships?
Yeah.
Right? Well, it's because I wasn't willing to put me out there so people couldn't even address parts of me because they didn't know it existed.
Hey, welcome to a podcast where dreams meet determination and success is just around the corner. I'm your host, Suzanne Taylor-King, and I'm here to help you unlock the full potential of your business and your life. Welcome to Unlock Your Way with STK. Let's unlock your path to success together. Good morning, everyone. Suzanne Taylor-King here with, oh my God, I can't believe it. Michael, welcome to Unlock Your Way with STK. How are you?
Excellent. I had to beg for years to be on here with you, and finally you allowed this, so I appreciate it. The mayhem.
Oh, you're so welcome. You know, it's words of affirmation are always appreciated for me because that's my love language. So thank you for getting me. I totally appreciate it. We met in person for the first time back at the beginning of May, and you saw my talk. I saw your talk. Let's get into what you do and tell us a little bit about you as a coach.
Whew. I like to say strategist because the coaching space hates me because I talk a lot of trash about the coaching space. So that's always I'm like, ugh.
Can we do some of that today?
Right?
Can we do some of that today?
I became public enemy number one again yesterday because I made a post. But I'm Michael Fabber. I think messaging is the key to everything. With the right message, your ad will work, your website will work, your posting will work. With the wrong message, none of it will work. So we're big on the foundational principles of messaging, and making that crafted in a way that your people resonate with it and come towards you and want you to help them and give you money too. So win. And I'm like the anti-coach of the coaching world. So that's a little bit about me. Yeah,
I love that. I think that's what makes me attracted to your messaging and just your overall, kind of polarizing way that you present yourself. And that is so refreshing to me after being in the online space as a coach of some sort or another for 15 years. There's not many people brave enough to say some of the stuff you say. I think the stuff you say all the time, but saying it publicly can feel a little, what will people think? Oh, people will think I'm not nice, or people will think I have a bad attitude or negative attitude. Talk a little bit about being brave enough, and your company's called UnleashU Now, right? It's all about that, isn't it?
Facts. Unleashing who you are. For years and years, I like shaved corners and tried to be something that I thought other people wanted or that I thought other people would accept. And then I felt like, why didn't I have real relationships?
Yeah.
Right? Well, it's because I wasn't willing to put me out there so people couldn't even address parts of me because they didn't know it existed. Life has a funny way of making you understand what's important and what's not. Yeah. And it played some good games with me. And I came back and I was like, listen, we're going to do really good or we're going to do really bad. But anyway, we're just going to be us. And those that want to flock with us will, and those that won't. And I always say, I want you to love me or hate me, like block me or study every post I make, because there's nothing good.
Block me or study every post I make. I love it.
Right.
I love it.
Nothing good happens in the middle.
Yeah, I think that gray area for me has always been a defining moment. If you find yourself in that gray area, whether it's a relationship or a business or any decision, really, for me, that means it's a no. That means it's a dump it. That means get rid of it, because it's that waffling where, should I break up with him? Should I do that program? It's that all your stress comes from, isn't it?
Facts, 100%. And then doubt creates more doubt.
Yeah.
So whenever we sit in doubt, we're going to start doubting everything. So let's not sit in it, address the situation, and then make a decision. And the good thing is we can always make another one at a different time if we need be.
Yeah, right. Well, how did you get to this point for yourself? What did that look like?
True. If you could take a cluster of everything that's like messed up on Earth, put it together in a round ball, and then give it a name, that would be how it came. And the name would be Michael Fabber. I always get to say, I get to speak to people not because of their accomplishments. A lot of people get to speak because of their accomplishments.
Yeah.
And not belittling anything we've done or anything that the team has done. I don't want to take any credit away from anyone that's done some great things. But I really think I get to speak because of all the mistakes I've made and all the mess ups I had. And I'm still here talking to you about it.
Yeah.
Right. And that means anyone can. So me, I was like a hollow shell of somebody. I had all the material. I had the big houses, had the fancy cars. You heard about my favorite fancy, right? The cane, as we called it, which was our Cadillac Escalade. It was white. That's why we called it cane, because we were very mature.
Mm-hmm.
I've never done a drug. And I'm kidding. If that's believable, I got some beachfront property in Idaho for sale.
Yeah. Is that believable? I'm not sure.
I don't do them now. No.
Yeah, I don't do them now. I don't do them now.
I've grown. My doctor told me I have a heart attack if I did, so I stopped.
Okay.
Stopped right in time. But I was the epitome of fake. That's why a lot of times I make fun of things. I make fun of who I was. And everybody's like, who are you talking about? I'm like, me. And then life humbled me, and I learned a lot about loss, but also all the things that I tried to hide from you can't hide from it. You got to deal with it at some point. And I tried to deal with it all at once, became a suicidal maniac, tried to take my life in Lewis Beach. Didn't work, clearly. Went hitchhiking across America, had a missing person report for me, and then came back and was like, you know what? I just want to help people now.
Yeah.
And I can't do it not being me. I got to be willing to be seen.
Yeah. And I think that's why your story resonates so much with me, because, my first business at 24, I was making $5 million a year, and I had no idea what I was doing. No idea what I was doing. Except I knew the product, right? It was retail business, and it was before social media. So our marketing was like bumper stickers and cool bags, and a cool vibe. And I remember about 3 years in having everything, the houses and the trips and the Harley and the Jeep and the, sports car and everything. I could buy anything I wanted, and I still was not happy. There was something missing, and it was that being yourself and the personal fulfillment and doing something difficult, because that business was so easy for me, almost too easy, so you take it for granted because I didn't have to work that hard to get it to that point. And I think that's why your story makes so much sense to me, because that could have been me. And the only reason it wasn't, the only reason is because I made the decision to get out before it got really bad. So that's kind of what taught me decision making. And I see that in you now. You make quick decisions. You make not only business decisions, but you can tell you don't edit yourself. Talk a little bit about that.
Right, because one, I love everything you just said. And yes, 100%. The good thing about rock bottom is we get to pick where it is. Right? Like it's not a fair destination. We get to decide. And you decided your rock bottom was a little closer to the top than mine was.
Well, I smelled it. I smelled bottom. I smelled bottom.
I wish I was around you more to be free to be like, you should maybe do this too.
Yeah.
But when we edit ourselves, or when we check ourselves in a way to change who we are, it's to make someone else like us. Mm-hmm. And if they like us for changing who we are, then they don't like us for who we are.
Yeah.
Right. And like I said, I don't want a lot of likers. All right. Likers get you in trouble. I used to have a bunch of people around that liked me.
Yeah.
I got a lot of trouble then. So I was like, you know what? Why are we so uncomfortable being us? Right? Like just letting what we care about out and what we want to know. So many people make posts to think you have to be like prolific by like posting about anything that's popular or trendy. And it's like, sometimes the message is not posting about that because you actually don't care.
Yeah.
Rather than taking a side just to look like it. Like, I don't care about politics. I'm like the worst person to talk about
I don't
politics.
care.
I'm like,
I don't care
yeah,
about politics
everybody sucks.
or religion
Right.
or
Like, everybody sucks. They're trying to get money. They're not going to help nobody. Right. Like, we just got to go get it. Right. So, like, anyone comes to me about who they like, and I just make jokes and they get mad. And then the next people come to me about who they like and they like the other side, and I just make jokes about them. And they're like, well, you made jokes about the other guy. I'm like, right. I don't care. Right. I don't like any of them. But also, I don't get involved in those conversations or start them because I don't care. Right. And I think it's okay to say we don't care about certain things. That's not in for us. Like, that's not an interest of mine or a focus of mine. And sometimes we have to get comfortable saying that first to say what we are into.
Totally. I think it goes back to, I think it was that Eleanor Roosevelt quote where she said, small minds talk about other people. And the really evolved mind or person talks about goals and dream and ideas, right? And I think just this idea of news and politics and religion for me too, studying, reading about almost every major religion that I could. I'm like, they're all the same. What do people not see? It's and I think even entertaining those conversations for me would be small-minded. So let's talk about those bigger things. I'd rather talk about a business idea for 12 hours, plan it all out, and then never do it, right? Sell the idea. I sold a business idea once, and I thought, well, that was the greatest thing ever, to come up with a concept and then, all those ideas aren't for me. I could just sell them or give them to my client. That's cool. So how do you stay in that space? Because you and I both, as public figures, were around a lot of people all the time. How do you not get sucked in to those conversations?
Well, I mean, I'm human. Sometimes I do.
Okay.
So I am human. Sometimes I'm like this mofo, right? So I have those moments. And my nickname's the real MFer because my initials, and sometimes I am that person. So I can't lie and say I'm never human. I am. And sometimes some people just get me where I'm like, all right, here we go. Let's have the convo.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do, typically what I always ask myself, is this for the future? Is this the greater good? Is this purpose? Is this mission? All right. Because if it's mission oriented, I would say like my ultimate goal is to end suicide, selfish behavior. That's my ultimate goal. That's my ultimate goal. I want to do that. Anything that aligns with that or goes towards that or can help that, I'm in. Anything that doesn't, I'm typically out. Right. And that's why I always, when anything comes in, it's like, does this help us get closer to this? If it doesn't, then no go. All right. And a lot of times talking about anything that's tedious, that's not really going to move the needle for me, you're not going to have my attention long, and I don't want to be involved in it long.
Right.
But talking about a business, how we can impact people through a business, or talking about an idea or an event, we throw a lot of events. So how we can throw an event that will impact people's lives or change people's businesses so they can, the ripple effect theory, which I truly believe in. I'm all in. I'll listen. We'll talk over and over and over again. All right. Listen, we talked about our bigger conference. It's only a couple hundred people, but it's our bigger conference. We talked about that for years before we did it. And then finally we were like, all right, I think we're in a position that this makes sense. Yeah. This makes sense. The plan is good. And the conversation went far enough that it's possible. Right. So those conversations in time have changed my life and people around those lives. So I'm all about this.
Yeah. And I love that you said bigger conference and it's 100 people. So many entrepreneurs that I talk to get stuck in this idea, because they're looking at the gurus of the space who have 10,000 people fill up an arena, blah, blah, blah. And I would argue that a 10-person event, I had a 12-person event yesterday, and I'm still getting like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. That was incredible. You've changed my thinking on this and this and this. Because nobody needs more information. Like I don't need to get up on stage and give more information. It's let me change the way you think. And I just think impacting 100 people or 10 people and changing the way they think. And I honestly, I'm so in awe of not only your content, because you do this really, really well, but when you speak on stage, you're changing somebody's belief system. And did you learn that from somebody, or is that just innate with you?
It's weird. With speaking, I never really I never wanted to be a speaker. Speaking in front of people was like the worst thing on earth to me.
Yeah.
Right. Like I remember getting kicked out of class rather than reading a chapter in front of the class. Right. Like it wasn't like, right, yeah. I'd rather go home. Right. Send me to the principal or get in trouble. I'll find that.
Yeah.
So speaking was never my thing. I ended up speaking because a buddy needed a favor. Someone didn't show up for a boys and girls conference he put on at the local chapter where I was running like a door count security where I was just counting people coming in because I was like, I'll help you out. So I was like, click, click, click. I'm like, this is fun. Right. And then he's like, Mike, I need a favor. I was like, what's up? And my last name's Faber. So people always play the favor.
I'm going to use that.
Like, I'm every time someone says, I'm like, oh my God, that's so creative. I've never heard it.
Do me a favor.
And, hey, do me a favor. I'm like, so I'm like, yeah, what's up? And he's like, I need you to speak. And I was like, well, bro, I'll give you the ticker and I'll leave. Right. Like,
yeah. And
he's like, no, you don't understand. Like the guy that was supposed to speak that everybody paid like $20 to come in and see, he can't make it. He's so delayed. He's going to be like 4 hours late. No one's waiting for 4 hours.
Right.
I need you to go up there and speak. I'm like, oh my God. Right. And he's like, come on, you do it in the locker room all the time because I was a basketball coach for a long time. I'm like, all right. All right. So I got up and speak to him more. He's a character.
Love him so much. Oh you God, know, he lives within like 5 miles of me.
Get the heck out of here.
Yeah, he's going to get a knock at the door one of these days. Yeah.
I'm not that far from you too. Be careful. So I spoke and I was like, I hate this. I'll never do it again. And the kid walked up to me. He's like, no one ever spoke like that to me. It made me believe something could change in my life. And I didn't have to do what everybody else did. So thank you. And I was like, I'm going to do this again. Like, shit. Right. I don't know if you're allowed to curse on this. I'm sorry for
sure. Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed I have a mouth that's for sailors.
That's okay.
I'm going to say that differently next time.
It's okay.
So I never really dove into like learning or finding someone to teach me speaking per se. I studied human behavior for a long time. That was my studies. People are interesting to me. So really I just did use that in my style.
Yeah.
I feel like everything goes internal to external. So we got to work on the being part.
Yeah.
Right. Because then this won't really change for long if you're not really it. So I just try to speak to that and I try to see where the audience is and try to gauge my talk around that. I don't really plan to talk per se. I get in trouble for that. But I try to read the audience and go wherever they need, because if you're speaking, it should be about the people you're speaking to and not you.
Yes. I love that, because I feel as though I was always able to do that one-on-one with people to, after 20 years in dentistry, it was that one-on-one relationship. And I knew by body language and things they were saying, are they nervous? Are they excited? Do they want to be here? Do they want to leave? Like, I could tell that. And doing it with an audience and, the talk that you saw of mine didn't have anything funny in it written. That happened just from reading. And you did a facial expression. You were sitting in the front row and you did a facial expression. And I was like, oh, this is going to make the whole room laugh, what I'm going to say next. Right. And being able to do that in real time, you have to be comfortable with yourself, because it's that self-deprecating humor and being vulnerable that makes people connect with you. How did you learn that if you didn't just always there with you?
Just a really bad stand-up.
Okay.
What I learned was if you're willing to make fun of you, you can make fun of others. Others will accept you making fun of them if you're willing to make fun of you too. It has to be even though.
Yeah.
You'd be like, I can just make fun of others, right?
Yeah.
And if you make fun of yourself too much, people will start turning against you, making fun of you. Like, come on, be nicer to yourself. Right?
Yeah.
Like, shut up.
Yeah.
Don't tell me how to be with me. But if they're seeing that you're willing to take it, they will take it too, right? Typically. So really, I loved what you did, by the way, during your talk,
Thank you.
and how you did that. I was like, automatically we became closer just when you did that. I was like, yes.
Yeah, I felt that. I felt that.
So when you do that, a lot of times speakers are real heavy, and real heavy is hard. There's a lot of resistance. Right?
Yes.
And if you can mix, right? If you can find that good mix of like, here's something really good that you can use. Let's laugh about it a little bit. All right. Here's something we need to think about. A little heavy. Let's take a little turn and smile. Right. Yeah. And if we can continue that, we make the journey easier for them to follow, to get further and to get more.
I love that.
And
I love that. And I think when you can have someone laugh, they remember you because it's that dopamine release, right? Like somebody immediately feels more comfortable with you because you're comfortable with yourself. The hard things though, like the hard things I've been through, I forgot to put into that talk. I mean, they were there, in my planning, but what I noticed is that wasn't important in that moment. So, I never memorize a talk or have note cards or anything like that. It's like that free flow like you do. And you have to be able to read what your audience needs to hear and do it in a way, entrepreneurs are very fickle. They have shiny object. I need that. I need that all the time. And I think you have to be willing to adjust to that.
Right. One of the things I loved that you did too was that there was a lot of pitching that day, like over.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
And over. Right. And you didn't really pitch. And that made people come towards you.
Yeah.
Right. It's because you understood that there was already a lot of it. If you did it again, you would just be another one.
Yeah.
All right. And that was one of the reasons why I clarified at the beginning. I was like, I have no slides. There's nothing that's going to go on the screen. I don't even have a QR code. Really? I don't care if any of you ever buy from me in my life. We're just going to talk today.
Yeah.
All right. And literally people came up to me at the end and was like, the only reason I stayed sitting was at the beginning. You said you were going to sell something to me.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. And my QR code goes to a free workshop, then 2 free gifts, but no pitch. Like you're never going to get an email from me if you opted into that to sell you something unless you reach back out. Because to me, I don't know. I can't stand when somebody does it to me.
Right.
So therefore I don't do it.
Right. Oh, it's like to send a friend request just to pitch me something in 2 seconds.
Oh, stop.
Who taught people that?
I know who taught a lot of people that. God,
don't tell me. I want to throw it shopping.
There's so many. There's so many that teach it.
I'll go back to jail for that.
Okay. I don't know.
That's how serious of effect it is in my book. Like, do not do that. You literally belittled the whole request now. Because now I know you were just trying to get it to where I could see something in my inbox and not learn anything about either of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or the like, hey, how are you doing? What are you doing? What do? Do you want to buy something? I'm like, guy, don't even waste time.
Oh my God.
Stop it.
Yeah. I've now taken, depending on who the person is that does it to me, I've taken it as a personal mission. If it's a really high level person, and I know that it's either a bot or a VA doing it for them, and it's pretty obvious to me. I try to flip it to get them to want to book a call with me. And it's actually worked twice.
Let's go.
And yeah, we'll talk about that sometime, because I was such a smartass in the reply that, oh no, I don't need that. Have you looked at who I am? Have you looked at what I've done? Have you read? Here's the link to the about page on my website. Maybe do a little research on who you're pitching first. And by the way, I teach people how to do research and get their ideal clients that pay them $50K or more. Is that something you'd like to learn? Because I think you really need to learn it. Oh my God. It's awesome. And it's fun. Stuff like that.
Gamified.
All right. I want to know and have my listeners, my tribe, know you and your mission, because, you know, all jokes aside, what you're doing in the world is so important. My grandfather committed suicide, and I remember my dad was in his 40s when it happened, maybe early 50s, and it was the most devastating thing for our family. And I want to just support your mission. So tell us about it and how we can support you.
Phew. One, I'm sorry that it impacted you and your family like that. It's too many stories of this. And for years, it was swept under the rug because it was like shame. Right. And I think we had to change the conversation to be able to get it to be talked about more often, so people don't feel so alone. Right. They say there's 3 steps in harming oneself. It's feeling isolated, like you're completely alone. No one gets it. No one understands. The second one is burdenship. The people that I care about the most would be better without me. Right. This is me doing a favor for them.
Oh,
right. It's almost like convincing ourselves that this is the right decision. And then the third is to harm ourselves beyond repair. That goes against everything we're programmed to do. The last one we can't do anything about. Right. But the first 2 we can. Right. So that's why literally my cell phone, like my legit cell phone, not like some SMS service, or Google number, is posted on Facebook and everywhere else. You can call me at any time. I'll do my best to be present. My email's out there. My DM is open, and typically I'm the only one that goes in there. So we make it where people you're not alone and you're not a burden. I want to be there. I want to help. I want to be part of this. Like, I want to be there for you. I think the best thing people can do is let people know that they're not alone, that there's people out there that care, that want to be there, that are part of the solution. And the more we do that, the more people feel comfortable reaching out during times of need. So we don't get it to the point there's no return. Care for one another, be real, be willing to speak truth. What happens is we hide the truth so much, people start believing the lies.
Oh, 100%. That's why I don't believe in fake it till you make it.
Right.
Because that voice in your head is telling you all these horrible things. And then you go out to the world and you're putting on, you know, this brave, successful, whatever mask, right? And then you go home and you feel like crap about yourself. It's a horrible place to be for people.
Thanks. And when we're doing the fake it to make it, one, we're always questioning everything. Do the people really believe us?
Yeah.
Right? Do they see through this? Do they know? Right? So we're worried about that. And then we're not it. So we're like, God, we really suck because we're not what we keep saying we are. We're living out of alignment, out of our truth, out of reality.
Yeah.
And or we start thinking we are that person, and then we get hit with what that person would be hit with that built that, and we're not ready to withstand that kind of hit because we're not at the level.
Yeah.
All right. Part of the journey and the work is you build the density of your skin to be able to handle the level in which you have arrived to. Right. And if you didn't build that skin, you're going to be torn up. So being willing to be open about the process of growing. Right. And I wish, I wish I was involved more with the internet when it first was a thing, and I didn't listen to Dan Kennedy and think it was a fad.
I know.
And then 2, I wish social media was around and there was more documenting of things, because it's like the early years of business 20 plus years ago.
Yeah.
I took beatings. And then I thought I made it, and then I took another beating. Right. And then it was a repeated cycle of different types of beatings, but beatings nonetheless.
Yeah.
And I wish people saw that, because now I'm like, guys, like, that's okay. Like, that's business. We all went through it. You see the product now was years and years and years of shining shit.
Well, nobody sees that though. You know,
Right?
it's
And
like,
people now don't want to show it.
oh yeah, Michael, how'd you get to be such an overnight success?
Oh God, I love that.
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah. It's
14 years
taken,
ago I started doing this.
15 years and, you know, lots of pulling my hair out, literally. Right.
And wasted money and wasted time and fake careers and people that were going to put me on the map.
Yeah.
Right. And all the BS. And it was
that was my post. My post today, which was a little bold for me, was about how much, and it's in my group. I am going to put it on my personal page also, because it was pretty powerful. I don't know. I was in the zone of typing this morning. And I said, you know, I've invested over $250,000 in coaching and education in the past 15 years. Now, I'm not counting before that. Just in my coaching career, this is how much I've invested. And I've spent $10,000 on programs, $20,000, $30,000, and a little bit more. And I listed, there's only four programs that literally gave me an ROI. So spent 20, made 200 because of that knowledge, right? Like, there's only 4. And then I said, but the most impactful, the biggest ROI I've ever got was from a $15 book. You want to know what the book is? And I didn't say. I just said, you want to know what the book is?
Well played. Left me there.
For me to say that, to be like, you know, because to work with me is expensive, but it's not those types of programs. It's different. But if I meet somebody who needs to work with me and they're making 0, I don't talk them into spending to work with me. I say, go buy that book. It's $15. And when you're making 10 grand a month because of what that book says and do everything it says, then call me.
I love it.
I love it too. And it feels great. It feels great.
And I'm glad you made that post.
Yeah.
Because it's real.
It's real.
Right. And now you're going to give other people the permission to be real.
I hope so.
Right. And that's what a lot of people are just waiting for permission. So like, it's okay to be you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why we're very strong on always being us.
Yeah.
It's because wherever we are, I hope someone sees us and goes, all right, it's okay to be us. Like this dude's.
Oh, I just thought of a really cool idea next time you give a talk.
Love it.
Fake prescription pad where everybody gets a permission slip, a prescription to be them, to be yourself.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm going to steal that for next year's conference at all.
You can totally have it. See?
It's not as fun if you don't let me steal it.
You can totally steal it. You can totally
perfect. Good. Thank you.
I love that. And I think that is the perfect place to say, how can people get in touch with you, be a part of your next event? Where is it going to be? Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so we have a bunch of different events. The main one, a couple hundred people, is going to be, again, we just announced it yesterday, the release. We're going to Gaylord in Nashville, Tennessee again. I love the Gaylord. It's one of the most beautiful resorts in the United States.
Yeah.
You can feel like you're outside, inside, and it's temperature control. Like that's perfect for me.
Love that.
But this doesn't do well in extreme heat, and I do not like cold. So it's like a weird mix.
I might steal that.
Right, let's go. So that's next March.
Okay.
We have a couple hundred people in the room, a couple dozen speakers, a lot of networking, connecting. The one thing I'll always say, and I stand by, people will hear me or see me and they're like, dude, Mike, we got to be near, like, we got to work with you, whatever BS, right? And I always say, like, you're going to say that now, and you're going to come into something of ours, and you're going to see our community. And then you're going to be like, Mike, I don't really need to or want to talk to you anymore. Right. And you're going to want to hang out with the community. That's how cool and just really dope our community is. We're the blue and green. That's why James dropped the blue and green hearts.
Right.
I see Michael Martin Hummel in the house. He's part of it too. It's this dope community. People that really want to do good things and change the world. Real people.
Yeah.
None of the BS. No one talks about what car they drive or what house they have because no one gives a damn unless you're giving it to them. So
Nobody gives a damn unless you're giving it to them.
facts. It's like when people talk about their bank account, unless you're gifting it to somebody, no one cares.
I love it.
So that's the thing. Maybe if you haven't tried us, but we have a bunch of smaller events. That's why I said I love when you said the 12 people. We have 10, 20, 30 people at different retreats we have all year round. And they're my favorite events. Before, when I had a lot of ego, Mike, it was about big ass events. I was like, we're going to have 1,000+ people in a room. And pre-COVID, that we were moving towards that and had more people in a room before COVID than we did after COVID. And it's because now I don't want that. We will not go higher than 250. They had to talk me into that last year. I didn't want to do that. We're pretty much staying the same this year. I think we have like 20 more seats in the room. And just come be part of a community that actually cares about people and do your thing. But listen, you're an amazing human being. Very few people I actually vibe with and really like. Love, you're one of them. Anyone that knows you, they're in good hands. And I don't say that very lightly or about anybody really in this space. So thank you for letting me be on here today. Anyone can find me through Facebook. Is the easiest way to get a hold of me. And truly appreciate you and what you're doing for the space, not just this time you gave me, but also what you do for the people around you.
Yeah, I feel
you
the same
inspire
way.
me.
Feel the same way about you. And whatever I can do to advance your mission, I'm just a message away. You let me know what you need shared or put out there into the world. I'm here to support you for that because I believe not only in your mission, but in you as a person. So thank you.
Appreciate that. Right back at you.
You're welcome. Have an awesome day. Keep kicking ass. Thank you for tuning in to another empowering episode of Unlock Your Way. I hope you found today's discussion inspiring and you're ready to take your business and personal growth to that next level. If you're feeling as fired up as I am and eager to unlock that full potential, I'm here to help you on your journey and provide that personalized guidance tailored to your unique goals and challenges. Simply book a one-on-one coaching call with me and we'll dive deep into your business aspirations and see how we could co-create a roadmap for your success. And whether you're striving to scale an enterprise or just getting started, I'm here to support you every step of the way. To schedule your coaching call, simply visit the website at unlockyourwaywithstk.com, click on the book a call button, and we'll turn your dreams into that reality. Subscribe and review on your favorite podcast platform and on YouTube. Plus, you can join over 800 entrepreneurs in the Idea Lab Facebook group. Let's make success as an entrepreneur happen together. Until next time, I'm STK. Keep dreaming big, stay focused, and most of all, have fun while you're doing it.